Previously in F1, Oscar Piastri was eaten by Zak Brown, Fernando Alonso was shaken into a puddle, and Christian Horner was shot dead outside Albert Park by Alex Albon. On Saturday, after the sprint race, which was pretty cool, Kimi Antonelli became the youngest pole sitter in Formula 1 history, an award that was previously given out by Bernie Ecclestone on the Epstein Island. Before the race started, both Lando and Oscar's cars had electrical issues, which meant that they couldn't start. Piastri, who in Australia had been shot by Christian Horner and then eaten by Zak Brown, but as we know, Zak Brown swallows things whole, and Oscar was found 6 to 12 hours later. Bartoletto didn't start because of a technical issue. Alonso was sucked up into a straw and then reinflated in China. And finally, Alex Albon also didn't start as he is on the run for assassinating Horner at the end of last race. When the lights went out, Lewis Hamilton, starting third, launched off the grid and gets past Osama and Kimi around turn 1, and now is in the lead. Leclerc goes past George and gets close to Kimi but has to settle for third. Hadjar and Behrman have a little scrap. Behrman goes off defending Isaac. Behrman then uses a green shell and causes Isaac to spin. Sergio Perez drove into the side of Bottas for something to do because he was bored. Just before the end of lap 2, Kimi gets past Hamilton on the straight. And just as lap 3 starts, George gets past Charles and next lap past Hamilton at the same place. On lap 10, Stroll got lost, causing a safety car, and for once Ferrari don't make a complete arse of it and pit them both. On lap 19, Oliver Behrman tries to get past Ocon, but is thwarted by the French pair. Ocon and Gasly looked at each other, lit a cigarette, and said, "This is one battle we won't run away from, bitch." For several laps in the middle of the race, the two Ferrari drivers didn't give a shit about Mercedes, and on lap 25 the Ferraris go wheel to wheel around turn 1, but Charles stays ahead. Then the next lap Hamilton gets past Charles at the hairpin, but Charles says, "Don't even fucking think about it," and goes past him into turn 1. Hamilton replies, "You fake French fuck, let me show you how it's done." Again Charles replies, "You're the only Englishman with an American accent," and repasses Hamilton. As all this is happening, George is getting closer and closer and watching. George, who still has his English accent and says things like "crikey," and 2 laps later gets past both of them and now up to P2. On lap 30, a plane hit the World Trade Center, and 25 years later, America decided to go to war with Iran. The FIA deemed it did not constitute a localized hazard, and the race continued under green flag conditions. On lap 34, Ocon came storming through the inside of Margaret Thatcher and buggered into the side of him, running both of their cars off the track, ruining both of their races. Ocon was given a 10-second time penalty for being French, and the greatness of Ocon continues. On lap 35, a stone had gotten into the cockpit and burst Fernando Alonso, who'd just been reinflated and now has flown away. Leclerc locks up, allowing Hamilton to get past into P3. Max is forced to retire after an electrical issue, and when he gets back to the garage, he clapped his hands, turned into a bat, and flew to Germany. The Ferraris made the race interesting by trying to prove to each other who the bigger spaghetti in the team was. And speaking of spaghetti, Matteo Binotto is now the team principal for Audi, after Jonathan Wheatley was injured during a human pyramid with the Chinese acrobats. If you don't know who Matteo Binotto is, he's the makeup brush that disgraced Ferrari for a few years. So Kimi Antonelli wins, the second youngest driver ever, George in second and Hamilton in third. Leclerc 4th, and 5th place went to Oliver Behrman, while his teammate finished 14th after colliding with Colapinto. Carlos Sainz and Williams are plotting a false flag attack in order to invade the Red Bull garage to justify cancelling the races in the Middle East. Alex Albon is being chased down the 405, and nothing happened at the Tiananmen Square.